Welcome to One Mind Syndicate. I am your host Gershwan, and this is the very first episode of my Death Company Dreadnought modeling log. I am going to be modeling the Death Company Dreadnought from the Deathstorm storyline. It's the starter set that just came out for Warhammer 40k, and I'm going to be taking you guys from unboxing all the way to the finished piece. So today we're going to start off by unboxing this figure. Now, for all those that are subscribed to us that don't play Warhammer 40k, because we're normally not a Warhammer 40k channel, this is a game that we played way back in the day. This is the one game that started us off in miniature wargaming, and pretty much board gaming all in its own. So we're going back to our roots and we're playing 40k, so we're going to be putting out 40k content from now on. Expect that every weekend, basically. Every weekend we're going to have one video popping out. It's probably going to be modeling logs until we get our forces back in order and back together, and then we're going to have battle reports for that stuff. So if you want to check that out, be sure to subscribe so you guys can see what we have in store for you in the future. Now, for everybody else, Warhammer 40k is a really awesome miniature war game that lets you create massive armies and just battle it out. Now, the universe itself is just completely different than anything we've ever seen. Or anything that we've done before. It's different than Pokemon, it's different than the DC and Marvel universe. It's just epically awesome. There's just war everywhere, chaos everywhere. So it's super awesome. And within these video logs, we're going to be throwing out lore and stuff and giving you more background information on the 40k universe and why we like to play it. So you're going to get to see that, but today we're going to start off with the Dreadnought. Now, for all those that don't know, the Dreadnought is basically a Space Marine, and a Space Marine is just a really tough, amazing warrior that is genetically altered to be even beastier than any regular military person out there. But basically, when they get mortally wounded and they're rescued and their bodies can't be recovered, their bodies are put into this giant machine. It's like basically a machine sarcophagus, and they get wired up into the Dreadnought system, and they can still live. They can sense everything that the Dreadnought is sensing through the Dreadnought system. So it gets fed into their minds, everything that the Dreadnought is doing. So that's a way to make certain really awesome Space Marines continue to battle for the Imperium, which is, I guess, they're not good guys. They're just the Imperium. They're fighting for the Imperium. So that's what we're going to sculpt in this series. We're going to start off with this Dreadnought. Now there's more behind it because it's a Death Company Dreadnought, which is way more lore that I have to throw at you guys. But for right now, let's look at the sprue that comes with this Death Company Dreadnought. Alright guys, so this is what the sprue looks like for the Dreadnought. Let me get you guys up close to the detail of these guys. Like I said, Warhammer is one of those games with extremely awesome detail. As you can see, this is going to be the front of the Dreadnought, and he has a little skull being tied in there. The piece, all pieces with a Warhammer usually come with a lot of different accessories, and that could be a little daunting, just because, I mean, you have flamers, meltas, you have different close combat weapons you can choose. Of course, all of these still have to be put together, but that's what makes Warhammer sometimes a little overwhelming, because you have so many options. Look at that sword. That looks pretty badass. I'm not a Blood Angels player, so I don't know the name of that sword. If you do, comment down below. It looks pretty awesome. Lucky for me, though, I know what this Dreadnought is supposed to have and what it's supposed to look like, so I already know what pieces I'm going to choose. And all the extra pieces, I can just add into my bins of extra pieces. Well, I won't, because this isn't my Dreadnought, but if you were to purchase this, you could just add this to your bins of extra bits that you could use later on. So let me show you what the Dreadnought is supposed to have and what it's supposed to look like. Cassor the Damned. That is what the Dreadnought is supposed to look like. As you can see, it's going to have one Blood Talon with built-in Meltagun and one Blood Talon with Storm Bolters, and then searchlight and a magna grappler. Okay, now we're gonna go into, I'm gonna build the model, I'm gonna showcase it to you, and while I'm showing you what the model looks like, all built up, I'm going to read you who this specific guy is in the game, because you could play him, Cassor the Damned, for 140 points in Warhammer. So while I show you that, I'm gonna read you his backstory. Cassor the Damned. Sometimes even Blood Angel Dreadnought succumb to the Black Rage, their minds infested with the same spiritual sickness that can inflict their mortal brethren. Cassor the Damned is one such tragic individual. Having served for almost 3 centuries within the hall of his war machine, his mind was finally broken during the Battle of Lofang. Those that saw Sador's fall from sanity say it was the wings of the sanguinary guard as they passed overhead, blotting out the sun, that triggered the rage. Since that day, the sound of beating wings is the only way to rouse the Dreadnought from his madness long enough for the Death Company chaplain to direct him at his foes. When so released, however, his battle fury is terrifying to behold, and countless foes have fallen to his razor-sharp blood talons. Alright guys, and there you have it. This is the Dreadnought fully sculpted. Like I said, I gave it the 2 talons, I guess they're called. But what's cool about this is the Dreadnought, of course, is not glued down completely, because I'm going to paint it later. But what's cool about it is you can detach the arms, and this is the connection that they come with. So it's very easy to, let's say you want this type of arm, well, at the same time you could always attach the secondary arm that they give you, so you can still have that option even after you're done painting it and gluing it together, because these kind of snap on. I think that's the same with all Dreadnoughts, but I just thought that was pretty cool. See, so now you could have that as an option for the battlefield. Now I'm going to be painting this guy up and priming him and all that good stuff. So subscribe to the channel if you guys want to continue to follow this modeling log that we're creating. There's the sword that I was telling you guys about. It looks pretty badass. So now that option is there as well. The head is pretty good. And then you still have a bunch of other bits too that weren't used. Like there's the flamer and some shields and separate heads. So if you ever need extra bits with Dreadnoughts, you have that at your disposal. So be sure to subscribe to follow up on how this guy gets painted and all the cool stuff behind the Dreadnought and the Blood Angels. Check you guys out in the next video log. This was Gersh1 out.